On episode 756 of Into Your Head podcast, hello, cat-based lubricants, elitist bouncy castles, and lots more. Absolutely fucking fantastic, hello.
Into your head, into your head, into your head, into your head, into your head.
I've always been a great believer in the dictum, if you look straight into the mouth of their microphone, then nothing can scare you, nothing can intimidate you. You look it square in the face and you say, you're a fucking microphone and I'm going to speak into you for at least another 20 minutes and get the job done this morning, and not leave an unfinished symphony of a podcast episode like Beethoven used to do. Or was it Mozart? There used to be someone who used to like to leave unfinished symphonies around. He probably didn't like to leave them. He probably just left them. He thought, fuck this for a game of soldiers, I'm never going to get this done. I suppose I could just repeat the original verse and call it a reprieve or something. But no, he didn't do that. He just said, fuck this, I'm going to give up. I'm going to give up the ghost and just sit down and shove it down. He didn't even bother recording it. He couldn't in those days. He couldn't. Can you imagine if I had to fucking live like that? I'd have to write down the podcast and then not be able to record it and just have to trust various podcast performing orchestras to recreate it properly in the way it was intended 500 years from now. Fucking hell, I'd have to figure out how to tell them how to put an emphasis on the right stuff, how to say, for example, two cats walk into a bar. How would you display that in writing? At least in music they have a system. You use your quavers and your demi-quavers, and you have your thing with the 5 or 6 horizontal lines on it, and you can have different types of dots and cross them in different ways and stuff like that. But even that, most people can't read music. Can you imagine trying to read a fucking podcast and then perform it? Christ no. Jesus hates fucking Christ on a popsicle stick, no. Anyway, we have a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, a chair that needs to be oiled again, needs to have lubricant shoved into it. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean to be shoved. You don't need to shove everything into everything. You can do things gently. You don't have to go ramming things into the back of the seat of your chair just because it's making a noise. The lubricant bottle is perfectly well designed where you can just drip it on and it'll do exactly the same job. That's what lubrication oil is for. It flows gently into whatever you're lubricating. It's designed to, if you've seen the Castrol GTX ads that they used to have, or whatever it is, the 3-in-1 oil ad, they show a drop of oil majestically making its way around an engine. Nobody's shoving it around or jamming it up anything. No, just does it gently and majestically. It's one of the finest. If 3-in-1 lubrication oil was a tiger or something, it would be one of the most graceful, majestic tigers known to man. That's what it would be. But no, it's not. It's an oil. It's probably, actually, now that you mention it, oil, isn't that one of those fuels that's made out of? It's made out of long dead animal fossils under the sea. So there may well be tigers in lubrication oil, which I suppose would explain a lot. Anything that's made out of cats is going to be graceful and fantastic. You can't go wrong making things out of cats. I think that's what my point is. Anyway, 2 tigers walk into an archaeological dig area that's being carefully marked off, and it's got a marquee put around it to protect the dig. They're having an archaeological dig when the cats walk into it and they say, hello, any sign of our great grandfather who was a cat, and he's probably in here somewhere. His bones are probably in here somewhere. And the man behind the bar says, I don't know, you'd have to ask the archaeologists, although it was a mistake putting a bar in this marquee, I can tell you, because it slowed them down a bit. And the cat says, fair enough, where are they? And the man behind the bar bar says, oh, they're over there somewhere. Over there, those men in the white hats, the white sun hats, that's probably them, is it? Probably is. They're wearing hats that look like, in the Hannibal movie, when they show your man and he's walking around in some foreign village somewhere because he's no longer in jail and he's on the loose and he's in a disguise consisting of a white sun hat. What's his face in Hannibal? Maybe not Hannibal. One of those movies in the Hannibal series, which I call them all Hannibal. Those movies, but they've got different names. They're not called Hannibal and then Hannibal 2 the sequel and then Hannibal 3 the sequel to Hannibal 2. No, they've got more imaginative titles than that. Although I say imaginative, they probably just took the titles of the books that they're based on or something. I don't know. I'm a cat. Oh no, wait, am I the barman? I forget. Oh no, I'm the barman telling you where the archaeological ists that you're looking for might be. There they are over there in those hats. I don't know why they're wearing sun hats, to be perfectly honest. The archaeological dig area is covered by a marquee. It's not like they're going to get sunburned in a marquee. Or can you get sunburned in a marquee? Maybe you can, if the material is thin enough, I suppose. But that would defeat the purpose, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it defeat the purpose? I know you're just a cat, but cats are majestic and they know this sort of thing. Although being majestic isn't necessarily the same as being knowledgeable. But even if you're not knowledgeable, you'll be able to answer my question in a majestic way and make it look, I don't know, make it look something. Maybe I'm expecting too much of you as a cat. I don't know. What right have I got to expect anything of you? I'm the barman. I'm here to serve. I'm not here to have expectations of visitors. I'm a mere humble barman in a marquee at an archaeological dig. And the cat says thanks, and a great night is had by all. Now, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, can I hear background noise there? You probably can, or maybe you can't, I don't know. I can certainly hear background noise, I can tell you. Some elitist in the neighbourhood has got a bouncy castle in, not content with living in an area where we're humble enough to live in 3-bedroom and 2-bedroom semi-detached and terraced modern houses. Someone that has decided children to celebrate your, what I presume is a birthday, and this is no attack on the children involved, by the way, but it's an attack on society. It's like, because it's your birthday, we're going to bring in an elitist castle. We're going to say, this is all very well living in an estate with these plebs, these normal people, but someday I want you to strive to live in a castle. So here's a bouncy castle. Play around in it. Become comfortable in your castle surroundings. Act as if you were born with the right to be in a castle. So I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't know. I'm not a parent. I don't know how parenting works. Are you supposed to get them a castle and make them want a castle? I suppose it's better than just buying them a castle straight out. You give them the bouncy castle, which I suppose is rather cheap. You just rent it for a day. You give them the experience of being in a castle, and then you take it away, and then you say, that could be yours if you work for it. I've changed my mind. I take it all back. It's an excellent idea. If I had children, I'd rent them all sorts of castles. I'd rent them a space rocket and say, someday you're going to go to the moon or Mars. The world is your oyster. Not just the world, the universe. Someday you're going to get on one of these space rockets, except there won't be a bouncy space rocket, although maybe it will. Is there a technology involving bouncing that could help us get to the moon quicker and more often? Let's not rule that sort of thing out. Let's not limit the imagination of these children. Let's not do that. I certainly won't. I can't force you not to, but I suggest you don't. I suggest you join me in not limiting the imagination of these children. Give them their bouncy space shuttles. Give them their bouncy whatever. I used to watch Third Rock from the Sun, and the opening sequence had fictional planets bouncing around, knocking off each other like rocks. Maybe that's what the universe is like. and we can get to places by doing enough bouncing. You bounce things enough, and then you just, I don't know, things just bounce around, and you get to hop around like you would if you're one of those animals that hops around. There's animals that hop around from tree to tree, or from flower to flower. So they just thrive. And the kangaroo springs to mind, obviously, but this is Ireland. We don't have kangaroos in Ireland. We just have children, and that's why we need to put them in bouncy castles where you go bouncy, 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 and then you go ow, and then you start crying because you've had a minor accident. But you learn from that. So it toughens you up, and you learn from it. You think, oh, it's all very well to be bouncing around within the limitations of this padding, but there's a cruel world outside there, and if I go out through the opening and bang my head on the pavement, then it's not going to be all roses and daffodils and bounciness, I can tell you. It's going to be knocks on the head and trips to the... I banged my head this morning. I opened the fridge and banged my head on the fridge door somehow, and it bled. Oh, it bled for a few seconds. It's all right. I'm alive and well, and here to tell the tale. I was getting sausages out of the fridge, if I remember rightly, with a view to cooking them, and I opened the fridge, and next thing I know, I've been hit on the head by my own fridge door. I've had for over 7 years now. I got that fridge when we moved in here, and now it's just attacking me. It's reaching out and attacking me. It might as well just sneak up on me in the middle of the night and fall on me. Maybe it will, because I think it's on its last legs, quite frankly. Need to replace that fridge one of these days with another one. I'll replace it with another. I haven't learned my lesson. I'll still get another fridge. I won't stop having fridges, mainly because I don't know how to live without them. That's the thing. We've been cushioned with all this technology, and we can't live without it now. I'd have no idea how to run a modern household without a refrigerator. If that refrigerator just conked out today, and I didn't have the ability to get another one, then I'd probably just die. I'd probably just die from whatever diseases you get from drinking milk that's being left out all night. Well, I'd still leave it in the fridge. It just wouldn't be working. I suppose that would work. Would I get ice or something from the shop? I'd probably think of something. I have a bit of imagination, so I could probably think of something, I suppose. Anyway, on with the show. Once upon a time, there was a dog. A dog. That usually sounds better when I've had more coffee than this. When I spent the whole morning drinking coffee, which I have spent the whole morning drinking coffee, just not as intensely as I usually do. I usually be pouring it down my gullet at a rate of knots that would put the Titanic to shame. Although it shouldn't. The Titanic should have been ashamed of going bollocks. I'm getting tangled up in my metaphor. So I'm trying to say is that the Titanic was going too fast and should have been ashamed of that and should have been aiming to go slower. At least if you crash into the ice slower, you've more time to get ready for it, and you can get the fellas with the violins out and say, play something slower. You've more time than you think, and then you can get the woman and what's his face out of the old car and tell them, stop doing that, you filthy bitch whore, and get out of there and stop having pictures drawn of yourself. If you want pictures, get a photographer. That's what they're for. If you're in the age now of photography, if you're going to have someone draw pictures of you with a pencil, you might as well be going around on a horse drawing car instead of using a motor car. You might as well be going over to America on a freaking rowing boat rather than this fantastic structure. Although we know it's not as fantastic now as we thought. But you didn't know that when you booked it. You thought you were booking to go in a fantastic structure. So if you're going to book yourself on this modern apparatus like this, don't be a fucking hypocrite and have pencil drawings drawn of yourself when there's a modern photography technology available. Either live in the future or live in the past. Make up your mind. You can't have one foot in the past and one foot in the future. I suppose maybe you can, I don't know. But here, well, if you do that, one of your feet will age more far quicker than the other one. Or will it? No, it won't age more quicker. It'll just be older. Time doesn't go faster in the future than it does in the past. Although now that you mention it, there is some school of thought that thinks that they found some sort of scientific basis for why time feels like it's going faster to older people than it does to younger people. Well, that's not the point. If you've one foot in the future and one in the past, one of the feet will be older and it'll have gangrene, and the other one will be sitting there all healthy and young and thinking, why can't we go for a walk? I need to exercise this foot. And the other foot will say, you're on your own there. You're on your own there unless you want a crutch. Well, here in the past, proper crutches haven't been invented yet. Maybe I'm overthinking this. I probably am. That's hardly. The Titanic movie was about 4 hours long, but you're accusing me of overthinking this leg thing. I think it's the idea of living in different parts of the time and space continuum needs a lot of thought if we're going to do it. The idea of the Titanic doesn't need any thought because it's already happened. We know the story. Although I suppose if you're going to make a multi-million-dollar movie out of it, you have to give it that a bit of thought. But I'm not making the movie. I'm just talking about it vaguely, making vague reference to the Titanic, which was built here on the island of Ireland, and we're very proud of it, I can tell you.
IntoYourHead.com.
Support the podcastual arts at no cost to you. Just click through the Amazon link at IntoYourHead.com whenever you go shopping for anything, even if you use Amazon UK or Canada. We'll take your weird foreign money here. We're not proud. Just visit IntoYourHead.com and click on the appropriate Amazon banner.
If you would like to comment on any of the issues raised in this program, email studio@IntoYourHead.com. Remember, we value the opinions of you, the humble and ignorant listener.
Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats and stuff.
Are you a cat? Or do you know somebody who might be? Then tell yourself about Matchstick Cats, Neal's webcomic. Brand new episodes at IntoYourHead.com.
Matchstick cats and stuff. IntoYourHead.com.
Two cats walk into a bar on the Titanic. One of the cats goes straight up to the bar counter and says, "Hello, can I have a pint of your finest Guinness, please, and make it quick, please, because I've a bad feeling about this ship. I've a bad feeling about it. There's a feeling I get," where's my harmonica, "when I look to the west, and you know sometimes words have no meaning. And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, and the piper will come and will something." And the man behind the bar says, "You're just quoting Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin, and I suspect not completely accurately." And the cat says, "Christ, what do you have to do to impress someone nowadays? They're so jaded. A cat comes into your bar with a harmonica, ordering a pint in perfect English, and then has a go at Stairway to Heaven, and all you can say is he's got the words a bit wrong. Jesus Christ, jaded young people." And the man behind the bar says, "I'm not a young person, I'm 84. And the cat says, "Well, it's just as well, because you're going to be dead soon, I can tell you. You're going to be dead as a doornail. You're going to be lying there. The doornail will be there, rusting away 100 years from now, and you'll be there, just a skull and bones, sitting there." That's a Guns N' Roses song. Not skull and bones, dust and bones. It's all right. Dust and bones. I think that really has harmonica in it too. Dust and bones, and it's all right. It's all right. Dust and bones. Anyway, no, you're going to be not dust and bones, because I don't think you can have dust in the water. But no, you're going to be a skull and bones. I suppose just bones. The bones covers the whole skull thing. Well, usually people say skull and bones. And the man behind the bar says, "Do you know something that the rest of us don't?" And the cat says, "Oh, no. It's just that the ship is sinking and we're all doomed." doomed. We're all doomed to die. Doomed, but for the grace of I. What the fuck am I quoting now? Oh yes, that's one of my own poems. Me, the host of this podcast. I see a purple man on stare, despite the overwhelming glare. I look and turn and see and shudder, hating evil spill I blubber. Apocalyptic is the scene. I emerged in something, I can't remember the rest of it. It's a poem I wrote some years ago called, what's it called? The Count Perishes. I do a search for the Count Perishes by Neal, and you'll find it probably. It's up there somewhere. Anyway, suffice to say, yeah, we're all going to die, the cat says. And the man behind the bar says, fair enough. I can see why you'd want the Guinness pretty quick then. But Guinness isn't one of the faster drinks to pour. Would you like something easier, like a pint of lager? And the cat says, yes, please. I'll have a pint of your finest Budweiser. And the man behind the bar says, here you go. And the cat says, Christ, I see what you mean about being quick. And the man behind the bar says, indeed you do. And the cat says, absolutely. Anyway, here's to a great night, and R.I.P. all of us.
Are you going into your head?
Oh, now that's interesting. Well, maybe you don't think so. Maybe you don't have a curious mind. Maybe you've become numb to the world around you because you do drugs all day. You do drugs such as, for example, food, or drugs such as, for example, thought. Thought is a drug. I know you probably don't. People don't think of it as a drug. Well, you can't, because you can't. If your brain is faulty or drugged up, then by definition you can't analyze whether your thought is faulty or messed up or drugged up, because your thinking machine isn't working. Oh, you know what I mean. It's just like when you try to imagine yourself not being able to think, and you try and recreate it, and you think, I wonder what it would be like to not think, to just blank out my brain. But the best you can do is think, oh, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not thinking about fuck. And then you realise it's impossible. It's not to say it's impossible. It's just that you can't seem to figure out how to do it. Just because you can't ride a unicycle, that doesn't mean it's impossible. No, it just means you can't do it. People make this mistake all the time. You hear on the news, they'll say, oh, it's not known what's going to happen with such a thing, and what they mean to say is, we don't know. It's not for you to dictate whether it's known to nobody at all. Somebody in the universe may well know it, or the rocks around us may know it, nature may know it, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. Suffice to say, where was I? I was saying, oh yes, I did play Listener Mitch's Are You Going Into Your Head. It was probably illegal, because that's a Simon and Garfunkel song. Are you allowed to do that? I don't know. Either way, it wasn't me that made it. I didn't make it. Blame Mitch. Blame Mitch for trying to contribute something to my program to help brighten it up. Go have a go at him. String him up on a cross, why don't you? Just because he takes a bit out of an existing song and adapts it to do something interesting to put between the segments. Why don't you just now drag him out and put him up on a crucifix and crucify him? Why don't you? Typical fucking Earth. That's what typical Earth attitude. You can't fucking let anyone do anything without critiquing it. You say, oh, that's bad. What you're doing is bad. It's imperfect. That's what they say. What you're doing is imperfect, and we're going to put you to death for it. We're going to you go and perform perform miracles involving loaves and fishes, and people say, oh, that's very derivative, that's been done before. Someone's already invented loaves, and fishes are just there. They come out of fishes come out of nowhere anyway already. They're just magically conceived by other fishes. They're not there's nothing new about creating fishes out of nowhere. Fishes do that all the time. That's what they'll say. So no, you can't impress anyone nowadays. If they do a miracle and someone says, bollocks to that, bollocks to the miracle, but on something new by your man who made Family Guy. That's all we want now. You can't create anything new unless it's a spin-off of something else that's already successful. They'll say, oh, what's that? No, that's crap. Put on something else. And then we all end up learning nothing new. We end up going round in a vicious circle. Your man Louis Walsh, who made Boyzone, he has another boy band out now, and he launched it. He revealed it the exact same way he did his first one. He revealed them on the Late Late Show on Irish television the other night. You have to do everything. Once you've had success with something, you have to do the exact same thing again, and don't you dare deviate. Don't deviate, because deviation is considered bad. It used to be a mathematical thing, wasn't there? It probably still is. I say used to be because I don't learn maths anymore. My days of learning maths are over. But no, there used to be something in maths called the deviant or the standard deviation. That's what it was, which itself is that's just a contradiction in terms. Standard deviation. If you're deviating, then you're not the standard. You're deviating from the standard. So I don't know. I was trying to be clever there. It didn't work. Don't try to be clever with maths or boy bands or a combination thereof, because you'll just end up looking stupid and sounding stupid and smelling stupid and smelling stupidly. Maybe am I doing the grammar incorrectly? Should it be smelling stupidly or smelling stupid? Doesn't matter. I'm a cat playing Stairway to Heaven on a frigging harmonica, and all you can say is I'm pronouncing smelling stupidly grammatically incorrectly. Jesus Christ, give me and the cat a fucking break. Anyway, good morning.
You've been listening to Neal tell you stories. About cats, probably. Neal talks a lot about cats. Send your topic suggestions to studio@intoyourhead.com.